Hey parents, welcome to the Mommy Pod, where we keep it real about parenthood. The joy, the chaos, and everything in between. I'm your host, a single mom, educator, and everyday woman, learning to give herself grace while chasing her dreams. Whether you're folding laundry, stuck in traffic, or sneaking in 5 minutes of peace, this space is your reminder that you're not alone. And you're doing better than you think. So, grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab a drink, take a deep breath, and let's get into today's episode.
Welcome to the Mommy Pod. Thank you for listening. If you want more Mommy Pods, you can donate. It's courage and hope for the Mommy Pod. Goodbye.
Today's episode is one that so many moms need, but not enough of us talk about. You guys, if you're not a mom or you don't have a woman in your life, go ahead and skip past this episode. I'm going to tell you right now, it is for every woman, and you need to hear this. It is for us to take care of ourselves, and it is time that we know this secret, because it's not a secret. There's just not enough research about it, and we are so lucky that we have this mom, Amy Dave, who has done the research. Today's episode is about how moms... I'm stressed on this Valentine's Day, trying to get this episode out to you. These kids are chasing me everywhere. I told them, let's play hide and go seek so I can just do this intro really, really quickly. Today's episode is one that so many moms need, but not enough of us talk about openly. Our cycles, our hormones, and how our bodies actually feel month after month. Because so many women have been told that PMS, exhaustion, mood swings, and pain are just something that we have to live with and deal with. But it's not true. What if it isn't true? It isn't. I'm already telling you. It's not true. Today, we're joined by Amy. Amy is a physician assistant and a women's wellness coach who teaches moms about menstrual health and how to live a life without PMS. Amy helps women understand their bodies, live in tune with their monthly cycles, and experience what many of us don't realize is possible, feeling good all month long. Again, Amy, welcome to the Mommy Pod.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Again, I have children in the background, so it might be a little bit noisier than usual. But Amy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to focus on women's health?
Sure. So I have been a PA for 25 years, and I was always big on preventive medicine, so preventing things like heart disease and diabetes and cancer. But I didn't know that you could heal your PMS symptoms at that time when I was working. And I suffered with terrible PMS every month. I had, cramps, bloating, irritability. I was always angry. I was not sleeping, so I was exhausted. And then I had heavy bleeding, and it would last for many days. So I had all these symptoms. And eventually I learned how to get rid of them with things like diet and exercise and stress reduction and better sleep. And once I did that and my symptoms went away, I realized that, the doctors don't get much nutrition training. And I didn't get much nutrition training either as a PA. And this is not something that they will tell you. Like, if you go to your doctor with PMS, they'll just say, well, you can take the pill, you can take your pain medicines, you can use your heating pad, and then you push through it. And that's not the only option. You can get rid of your symptoms.
All right, that is so interesting. I've noticed that, and we'll dive more into it. But I have so many questions, like about the proper meats to eat before your cycle, because I've heard that if you eat beef, before your cycle, your cramps are likely to lessen.
So,
if that's
well, so the red meat has iron, which is something you lose when you're bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
Iron is a key component of your blood, right? So when you lose the blood, your body needs more iron to make new red cells. It's not the beef itself that gives you less cramps. It's more like anti-inflammatory foods. So things that reduce the inflammation in the abdomen would be like berries and ginger and celery and lots of roasted veggies and things like that. And then there are some foods that can make cramps worse, which would be like dairy. So you might want to avoid dairy for a couple days before your period. Or for some people, it's gluten. For some people, it's fried foods or processed foods.
Mhm.
And if you just start becoming aware of like the foods you're eating and what you're feeling, you will start to see patterns.
Yeah. And what made you passionate about teaching moms about menstrual health? Is it because I know that you mentioned that you dealt with your own symptoms, and as a physician assistant yourself, you realize that doctors don't get a lot of nutrition training. So is that what drove you and made you passionate about it, or is
No. So before I, learned about all this and stuff, I was a stay-at-home mom, I was a PTA mom, I was doing all the things for my kids, right? I was making them cakes and we would build Legos together and do all these activities, but I wasn't really happy. I was always tired, I was always stressed out, I was yelling at my kids and my husband. And I just didn't feel good all month long. And all of those things were affecting my relationships with my husband and my kids. And once I felt better physically, I noticed that I was waking up refreshed and I had more energy for my kids. I was not yelling at them as often. I could be present fully when they were telling me a story or when we were doing an activity. And, I wasn't worried about my pain or my stressed out about something else or whatever it was. So I know as moms, we get very busy with the kids. We forget to take care of ourselves sometimes. And if you take care of yourself, you'll be so much of a happier mom for your kids.
for sure? I definitely believe in that. And what are some of the biggest myths that women believe about PMS?
So the biggest one, and I believe this too for many years, is that it's just a normal part of being a woman and you just have to push through the pain.
Mm,
You do not. It is not normal. Your PMS symptoms are your body's way of telling you that something's off. So, if you're having a lot of bloating, you may be having gut issues. If you're having migraines, maybe you're dehydrated or you're lacking some vitamins and minerals. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. So your symptoms are your body's way of telling you that something's wrong. And when you fix those things, those symptoms go away.
mhm. And let's talk about living without PMS, because you talk about that you can live a life without PMS, which is really surprising, and I'm sure it's a surprise for a lot of our listeners. So, is it really possible to live without PMS?
Yes, it is. Um, so if you're a woman and you have your monthly cycle, you go through 4 phases every month. And in each of these phases, your body needs different nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber, things like that, and different exercises in each week of the month. Sorry. So if you're eating the same way every day and you're doing the same exercises every day for the whole month, you're not working with your hormones because they fluctuate every week. Whereas if you change out what you eat, and it's not hard, it's some weeks your body is like in a summer season and you want more like raw foods and cold foods and just things to cool you down. And then other weeks, like when you're bleeding, your body is naturally cold. So you want more warming foods, you want soups, teas, you want to dress a little bit warmer because your body temperature is naturally lower when you're losing blood. So it's just simple shifts like that for every week in the month that can really improve your symptoms.
Wow, that's really interesting. Especially with the eating and tailoring your meal plan to your body. Because I think a lot of us just think about, okay, what do our kids like to eat? What do our families like to eat? What are we going to cook for this month, or what's affordable, what's on sale?
Yep.
We don't really think about what does our body actually need, and we don't think about the fact that our body could need something different each week.
Yeah, and it's kind of intuitive once you get the hang of it. Let's say you eat, I don't know, chicken every week, right?
Mm,
Some weeks it might taste really good. maybe in a salad. But if you have that same salad the following week, it may not taste good because your body wants something more. Right. So it's just varying the foods. There are certain weeks where you need more fiber and more magnesium. There's certain weeks where you need more B vitamins, which are commonly found in things like bread and pasta, which is one of the cravings that we get, right? Carbohydrate cravings. So even your cravings can tell you different things about what your body may need.
Now, with that, should you listen to your cravings?
Yes.
Oh.
So, for example, if you're craving salty foods, you don't need salt. Your body might be low in magnesium, which is a different salt, right? But your body doesn't know how to tell the difference, so it just craves salty foods. If you're craving fatty foods, it's not because your body wants that fat. Your body wants the healthy omega-3 fatty acids, which are found in things like avocados and nuts and olive oil. So the first step is to recognize the cravings. And then the second step would be to learn which foods can actually help you to eliminate those cravings and be good for your body. Like it's providing the nutrients that your body's asking for.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And thank you. This is great. And then what actually causes PMS symptoms?
So again, your hormones fluctuate every week. They go from, very low to very high and then low again.
Mm-hmm.
And the different symptoms, so cramping is caused by what we call inflammation, right, in the medical world. So that's just a lot of receptors in the body that are just going into the pelvis, and they're causing the muscles to contract when they shouldn't be contracting. And that's what a cramp is. If you're bloated, you might be having gut issues or issues with your there's good bacteria in the gut called microbiome. So if your microbiome is not healthy, you would feel bloating or constipated or diarrhea, even with heavy bleeding. So a normal cycle, you should only have heavy bleeding for about 2.5 days. And if it's bleeding more than that, your estrogen and progesterone levels might be off. So eating lots of fruits and vegetables to help metabolize that estrogen, right? Exercising properly. All of these things can play a role into the different symptoms that we feel every month.
Wow, that's really good to know because I used to my cycle would be heavy the entire 7 days, and I didn't think that that was not normal. Now my cycle is heavy like 2.5 days, and then it's tinkers off. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on? But I guess I'm out doing okay.
You're doing something right. Yeah.
Good to know. And what are some signs that we can look out for when our body is like feeling out of balance or out of whack? I know cravings is one, and stress and the
Mm-hmm.
agitation, but what are some other signs that we can?
Yeah. So you would be waking up tired, right? You might have migraine headaches. We talked about the stomach issues. We talked about the heavy bleeding. You might have blood clots. You wouldn't feel alive. Like I used to say when I wasn't feeling good, and now that I am, like I used to feel like a zombie. Like you're just kind of going through the motions every day. You're taking the kids to school, and you're taking them to whatever after school activities, and you're making dinner and you're folding laundry and you're doing all these things, but you're not really enjoying life. You're not, maybe you feel like you lost a part of yourself. A lot of moms especially say that they lost like a piece of their identity. They don't know who they are anymore. And so these are all signs that something is off, and you don't have to change everything at once. I'll just tell you, you can start with like one thing and change it for a couple of months. Once you get used to it, once it's in your routine, then you pick the next thing and you change it. And little by little, you will start to see your symptoms go away. You'll start to see that you're waking up refreshed in the morning. You'll start to see that you feel happier. You're not yelling at your kids or your husband or whatever. You'll start to notice changes as you make changes in, your body over several months.
So how can moms start to learn what their body needs during these different phases of their cycle?
Yep. So the very first step is to learn how to track your cycle. So you can use, if you're still using a paper calendar, you could do that, but there's so many different apps that are available, like period trackers. So the first thing you want to do is just start tracking. Is it coming once a month? How many days am I bleeding? What symptoms do I have? You don't even have to change anything. You just need to become aware of it, and you'll start seeing patterns. So a normal cycle should be about a month, so 28 to 32 days long. If it's going longer than that, or if you're bleeding much sooner than that, something might be off. Track your symptoms. Are you having a lot of PMS symptoms the week before your bleed? What is happening during your bleed? And as you start seeing the patterns, then you can pick like one thing. If migraines are the thing that's bothering you the most, you can start to, work on, okay, is it lack of sleep that's causing the migraine? Is it that I'm dehydrated and I'm not drinking enough water? Am I not exercising? So my body feels irritated, right? Like, it's the first step is just to become aware, and then you can read books, you can learn about all this stuff, or there's plenty of coaches like me available that if you don't want to think about it, you just tell me where you are in your cycle and I'll give you the things that you need to do for that week, right? So there, you can either learn about it on your own, you can work with a coach, but the first step is really to become aware of your cycle and your symptoms.
Do your kids love stories, colors, castles, and adventures? Well, Princess Liliana and the Rainbow Castle is more than just a storybook. It's an interactive journey where little readers explore colors while building imagination. From the sunny yellows of the Golden Hall to the sparkling blue sapphire shoes that she wears. Each page bursts with magic. Plus, it comes with a coloring book and activity pages, so the fun continues even after the story. It's perfect for toddlers, preschoolers, and early readers. Turn rainy days into rainbow days with Princess Liliana and the Rainbow Castle. It's the perfect way to teach your little ones colors while sparkling their imagination. It's available now on Amazon KDP. Well, I'm ashamed to admit, because my school did it, that I teach at, they did a presentation on how bad AI is, but I did use ChatGPT prior to the presentation to track my cycle, and it told me about the luteal, the follicle, and
So there's follicular
luteal follicle.
phase, ovulation, luteal phase, and menstruation. Those are the 4 phases that your body goes through each week, each month.
Amazing. Okay, so that's what you were talking about, of knowing the 4 phases.
Yep. So the first thing is just to become aware of your
Yep.
cycle, right? How often am I bleeding and what symptoms I'm feeling? You can write them down. You can keep like a journal. And then you can start to work on like one thing at a time to change things and get rid of those symptoms.
Right. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you use like Pinterest or even if you do a Google search, I guess, but if you type in cycle syncing and you look up images, you will find like charts of like certain foods you're supposed to eat in each week or certain exercises you're supposed to do in each week. I mean, there's so many different things out there that are like pictured and charted, and so you could just start with one of those and start reading those and trying to figure out a couple things. Or there's lots of books out there too on menstrual health and how to heal your symptoms.
Yeah, that's so great. And do you have any tools that you use or that you have online that we can link in the bio?
Sure. I have a free guide. It's called Live a Life Without PMS, and it just gives you a brief introduction of both our 24-hour clock, which is our circadian rhythm, right? Which is how the body tells the difference between night and day, and our monthly cycle. And my guide will go through both of those. It'll give you a quick introduction on what it is, and it'll give you some quick tips that you can start using right away.
That
So I
is
have a link. I can send you the link, and then once you get there, you'll just get the guide in your email.
amazing. Yes, please send us the link, and we are also going to link it in our show notes. This is so important and it's so spot on of what women need. And I'm so glad that you are voicing it and letting us know that there is a life without PMS. That's so awesome.
Yeah, like I want you to be calm when your kids are running to you when you're trying to record a podcast, right? Like I don't want you stressing out and yelling at them for little things like this, which is I used to do it. I used to yell at my kids for if their movie volume was too loud or they didn't unpack their lunchbox, whatever. But yes, I think once you feel better, you behave better towards others.
I think that's very true.
It's okay.
I mute them when they come in because they keep coming in and out. Okay. We're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk about yourself if that's okay.
Sure.
You've faced so many real challenges as a mom, including infertility, cancer, and monthly PMS symptoms, as we talked about. What was the season of life like for you emotionally and physically?
Um, it was challenging for sure. So I went through a lot of infertility treatments just to even have my kids. And then I had three within 4 years. So they were very close in age. So I was a stay-at-home mom, and there were some struggles there too. Again, I wasn't taking care of myself at this time. So I was always exhausted. I was, just waking up tired, going to bed tired, in kind of like a brain fog all day. um, when I had my second cancer, I also had three little kids at home, but I was fortunate that I had a lot of family support to take care of the kids and cook, and that way I could heal. And if you follow along with like the mythical creatures and you know of the phoenix, at some point between all my treatments and my doctor's visits and everything, I started telling my husband, I feel like a phoenix. And every time I go into the hospital, I'm going to consider that like my burning day. And then I'm going to come out of it stronger and better than I was. So I've kind of taken that on as like a life mantra.
I love that. That is so awesome. You are so strong. And
Yes,
yeah.
I had to
And
learn how to be strong. I was not, this way, but my life situations kind of pushed me in that direction.
yeah. And what helped you start healing and feeling better, or just helped you start to learn to be strong?
I think I've always been very resilient uh, and goal oriented. So if I put a goal in front of me, I'm going to do everything I can to achieve that goal. And my initial goal after I had the cancers and this and that was just to make my body healthy. Um, and I did that. And once I did that and I felt so much better, I knew I had to teach this to other women. And I couldn't do it as a PA. It's very hard in a 15-minute appointment slot. I'm sure you know when you go to your doctor, there's a lot of things that need to be done. And I couldn't teach the women, how they could be better too. So I left clinical practice and I became a coach. And now I spend an hour a week with my ladies, and we go through, I teach them, I help them through all their struggles, and just watch them grow and get better too.
Well, you're really great at interviews because you answered my next question, which is how has the experience shaped the work that you do today?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that is exactly how.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we're
A
gonna move
happy mom
on.
makes happy kids. That's my ultimate goal. If the kids can be happy, the world is a better place.
That part. So, more advice for moms. What would you say to a mom who feels exhausted or in pain every day, who might be going through their own struggles and they think that it's normal to feel the way that they feel?
First of all, it's not normal. And you have to become aware of that uh, because we've been trained to believe that it is normal. your monthly PMS is normal, your exhaustion is normal, your stress is normal. It's not. And there are things that you can start doing to help yourself. And I know you're busy. I know you have little kids and this and that, and you're running around to activities, but you can start with like 5 to 10 minutes a day. You can do some stress reduction techniques. You can start a mini workout. You can, make a grocery list full of healthy foods. There are things that you could do that don't take a lot of time. And even now, like I don't exercise more than 30 minutes. My workouts are 15 to 30 minutes. I'm eating healthy most days. I still eat, when we go out to a party or dinner or whatever, I'm eating the unhealthy foods too, but it's a balance, right? So you're eating more healthy foods, less of the desserts and treats, but you're not eliminating them completely. You can work on, there are so many ways to relieve stress that only take 5 minutes, right? You could do some deep breathing exercises. You could journal or color or dance or go for a walk, go out in nature, whatever it is. You have to start prioritizing yourself and just taking even a few minutes at a time. If it's 5 minutes, take that 5 minutes, set the timer, sit in silence, do something for you. And as you start doing that and you start getting your energy back, you start feeling better, you'll want to do more of it.
Yes, that is so great. Could you pick one thing, one small step that someone could take this week to feel better?
Yeah. So I know we're all busy, like I said, but if you can find 5 minutes in the day, whether it's before the kids wake up in the morning, whether it's when they're at preschool or school or after they go to bed at night, 5 minutes, set a timer, right? Just sit, and you can sit in silence. You can practice some deep breathing exercises. There's a whole lot of different ways to do deep breathing. Like you count to 4 when you inhale, and then you hold it, and then you count to 4 when you exhale. There's lots of different versions on YouTube that you could do. You could sit and journal and just write down the troubling thoughts that are in your mind. You can color if that's something you like. You can listen to your favorite music. You can dance. You can read. I like doing jigsaw puzzles, so you can sit with a puzzle. It's really anything that makes you happy. So use those 5 minutes to do something that makes you happy. It will help calm you down. It will lower your stress. And then as you get used to that 5 minutes, because even 5 minutes will seem like a challenge when you first get started. So set the timer. As you start getting used to that 5 minutes, then you can increase the time to 7 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever you have. And you will start to find more time because it makes you feel better.
That's so good. Set a timer, 5 minutes. We can do anything for 5 minutes.
Yes.
That's so good. And um that like pretty much answers a lot of my questions. You are so great. There's so
Awesome.
many gems that you have dropped of just great knowledge and tools that we could use. That are
Yes.
just
That's my goal, is to help you learn something new that you can start doing today.
yeah. Because my last two questions are, what do you hope every woman would understand about her body? But I feel like it's what you're saying is
Mhm.
that you don't have to live a life with PMS.
Yeah, listen to your body. We have been trained to ignore it, but you have to really listen to it, and then it really becomes intuitive. Like your
Mhm.
body will tell you what it needs.
Yeah. And then my last one was, how does taking care of your body change the way you show up as a mom? But I've heard you say that it helps you be more patient
Yep.
and
Yeah.
the kids are
You're just more
happy.
present. You're like I said, I'm not yelling at my kids as often. If they're telling me a story, I'm actually listening and paying attention. I'm not like spacing out and, thinking about something else. Um, it's just more fun this way.
Yeah. Well, we always close with a question. Is
Mhm.
the last closing question is if there's anything that you want to leave moms with to carry them through the week or life, what would it be?
We're all human and we make mistakes. So if your day didn't go as planned, just start again tomorrow. It's a brand new day, and if you didn't eat healthy, if you didn't exercise, or if you, whatever it was, it's not a life sentence. You just start fresh tomorrow morning.
Wow, that is such good advice. That is so beautiful. Start fresh tomorrow. I love that. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge and your story with us, and to every mom listening.
Thank you so much for having me. I love teaching others.
Was that not a great episode? I feel like that was such a life-changing, game changer episode for so many of us. Amy, thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge and your story with us today. And to every mom listening, your body isn't working against you. It is speaking to you. So listen up. And learning to listen may be one of the most powerful forms of self-care that there is. This is the Mommy Pod, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.